Thank you for your honesty and
Okay.
patience. Yeah.
All right, we are live, and my name is TJ, also known as GFan84, and with me as my guest
Is Orange Hat Reviews.
Orange Hat. All right, awesome. All right,
Because I
so
think your
as
audio
many of you
just.
know, yeah, I think my audio is actually slower than by the time it gets to wherever. I'm not sure, but you know, seems like that. But so for those of you who don't know, I've been away for a while. Um, actually learned how to become a truck driver. I passed my test for my CDL, and then I pretty much got hands-on training on the road doing actual loads. So that's where I've been recently, and I've been kind of out of the loop here as far as entertainment wise. That's why I asked Orange Chat Reviews to come on to help me out with that kind of stuff. And for me, it's kind of odd because having a job where I'm going around from place to place and state to state, I really don't get that much downtime or that much time to even worry about the coronavirus or even worry about like what's going on in the entertainment world. And it's kind of weird from my perspective because I'm still working, I'm still moving, and from what I hear, like a lot of the country is out of work and people are protesting to get back to work, and then you have counter protesters saying no, you have to stay indoors. I mean, it's insane.
That's insane because counter protesters that want you to stay at home, yet they leave their home to tell you to stay at home.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know. The mentality there is like hilariously bad.
Skewed.
So so to give you some insight, and back in February, I left and from Pennsylvania to Indiana to go to a truck driving school. Then once I got my CDL, which was about 3.5 weeks later, I then went on with a trainer, and him, I, and then another trainee, we delivered live loads and throughout the country, and so that's where I've been. I've been back and forth from one side of the United States to the other, down to Texas, all the way up to back up to Pennsylvania. So it's been quite a ride, and I don't know, Orange Hat, how have you got to visit very much of the country?
Only
Or
the first 13.
okay, all right, yeah. One of the things that for me what that was breathtaking was first looking at the Sierra Nevada mountains and like Salt Lake City, and then seeing the white sands in Nevada. I mean, that was like magnificent. I've never seen anything like it. It was really cool.
You should
But
get pictures.
yeah, I got pictures. I think I posted a couple on my Twitter. I can't remember. I posted a few, but really, it's mostly from me in the passenger seat of the truck. Some of these loads they're time sensitive, so there's really no stop to enjoy the view. It's pretty much go 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 go. Uh,
Yeah.
Especially with what's going on in the country right now, it's kind of crazy. But at the same time, like as a truck driver, we've also been seeing a lot of distribution plants shutting down or only having a skeleton crew. So that's if people are wondering why some things aren't being stocked, it's also because of the actual distribution centers or the actual manufacturing centers are just decimated by this coronavirus. They're literally working with a skeleton crew of like 5 or 6 people. That's it. So
Yikes.
if they're slow, we're slow. And
Yeah.
it's just it's kind of crazy. Right now.
Yeah. I mean,
But
basically, the, yeah.
yeah. Oh,
But yeah,
go ahead.
like I was saying in my stream that he actually dropped by, folks, it doesn't matter if you're a day old truck driver or a 10-year veteran. anybody who is watching this, thank that man, because it's these guys that are keeping the economy in a semi-stable state. They're basically the ones that are kind of keeping the heart beating, even if the economy is in a chemically induced coma. But as for entertainment, basically name a topic and I can basically update you. I heard something.
Okay,
something.
So as far as entertainment goes, I know. As far as entertainment goes, I mean, I know I've been hearing about like a lot of people in the quarantine and stuff like that, but I saw that the movie theaters were closed and all that. Actually, when I went to Nevada, I went to we had a load to drop off near Vegas, and the casinos were closed. And I'm thinking to myself, man, that must be really bad if the casinos were closed.
Oh yeah, the strip is closed completely.
Those things don't close for nothing. But
they canceled Easter, buddy.
So, what's been going on? They canceled Easter.
Yeah, even the Vatican
my question
canceled Easter.
Oh yeah. Actually, I've been hearing some debate about that, where it's that separation between state and religion, and a lot of people were protesting about church and state, and a lot of people were protesting, hey, you can't impose on my religious rights to gather, but they're saying, but the risk outweigh the reward on that one. So I don't know. I've been hearing just bits and pieces.
There's
a
lot of politics involved in that. Basically, separation of church and state, unless there is really extenuating circumstances. But honestly, Happy Dino, what did Ellen DeGeneres do this time? I mean, I know she compared being at home to being in jail, which, did I go off on celebrities for about that? But basically, have you heard any, or do you know what's going on between Johnny Depp and Amber Heard?
No, now what?
Basically,
I heard like
in the
very little bit of it.
They're in the midst of their nasty divorce and whatnot in the lawsuit, and Amber Heard just keeps sinking herself. All this evidence is going out basically against her. I mean, Warner Brothers and the Aquaman movie just went after, or just wished her a happy birthday, and people lost it. Even I will admit myself, I did too. I voiced my displeasure with their incredible stupidity, because it's like, you guys are ignoring all of the proof that this woman that you have hired is indeed a serial assaulter. I mean, this woman is a serial abuser, and she is responsible for the severing of Johnny Depp's finger. She took a dump in his bed, and all of this is documented as actual evidence, folks. So, she's just sinking herself with all of this audio stuff coming out of her actually admitting she did a lot of the stuff.
Now, when this first started with her and Johnny Depp, wasn't she the one who accused him of abuse when this all first started?
Yes, that's what I thought. Okay. She got his career sunk at Disney with Pirates because of it, and people have created petitions to get her kicked off or kicked out of her roles, and people have been making petitions to have Johnny reinstated at Pirates. Now, I'm not a person that engages in cancel culture. Like I said, it is up to the studio to decide what to do.
Right.
But is that going to stop me from having an opinion on what she has done? No, honestly, if it was up to me, I would, and if she is found guilty of all this stuff, she should do time in prison.
Right.
And she is already facing 3 years because she has falsified evidence, because she was putting on all that makeup, you see, that made it look like she was getting pounded in the face and whatnot. And well, there's witness testimony that kind of said, I was just looking at her like not even an hour ago, and her face was clear.
Right.
So some shady shit going on. And we're allowed to swear because this place is not for kids.
Yeah. Yeah,
but
it's not for kids, and I have all kinds of other stories to tell anyway, and it's not like kids' stories. So stories on the road.
Other than the Johnny Depp Amber Heard thing, I mean, there's the Tessa Thompson thing that comes to mind right now because it's so fresh, but it was actually something she said back in 2018. But it's been resurfaced because it's kind of racist and sexist if you think about it. And plus, they got the whole Disney just hasn't, like my live stream said, they didn't learn from The Last Jedi. They're pushing this female-centric Star Wars thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, ugh, you guys, this isn't
Star
Wars.
I'm not the biggest Star Wars fan, and I'll admit that.
Yeah.
But I love what the Phantom Menace stands for, as far as like, getting all these like race politics out of our movies, that kind of thing in general, not just Star Wars, but in general.
Yeah.
And but like, I really, really think that honestly, when Carrie Fisher passed away, I think that was the nail in the coffin. I really feel that was it. That was it. There was no going back after that, because even if they wanted to try to fix it, they couldn't. I think
episode 9.
That to me, as a general fan, I think for me was the nail in the coffin for me, because even if they wanted to fix it, there's no way they could. And now, unfortunately, it seems like they're just taking the ball with this, toxic masculinity and the female empowerment, that kind of thing. They're just taking that ball and they're running with it. I mean, they're
not empowering anything. I mean,
they're not. That's the
they're only empowering. Thing. They're only empowering us to speak out against this crap because of how wrong it is. But yeah, I also engaged in a little bit of masochism while you've been away. I got the Rise of Skywalker novel, and I recently got blocked by the novel, or by the author of this book, Ray Carson, and I don't regret it, because I gave her my honest opinion of the book. It was not written well, but it wasn't her fault. It was not her fault.
Yeah,
she was given content that just wasn't good.
Right.
So what can I? It's like, it's not your fault because you were given shit content, because Star Wars has been shit ever since after Rogue One. Rogue One, I liked it. And I will be the first to admit, I liked Episode 7 as well. I liked Rogue One, but after those, it just went downhill. And it just didn't go downhill. It's like somebody flew Star Wars all the way up to the top and just dropped it like Superman did to Toyman. Well, that Superman clone did to Toyman. Because it just went stupid. The Mandalorian is decent, but it's still, ugh.
I had my own issues with The Mandalorian, but I thought it was a bit of a step up. But then again, when you're at the bottom, there's not much to step up from. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. It's not that much of an improvement.
So, like, and I agree with you. See, like, The Force Awakens, I thought that had great potential. Like, I'm like, oh, okay, let's see where this goes. And then you get to The Last Jedi, and it's like, such a disappointment. And that's me not being an avid Star Wars fan. I'm just a general fan. And I'm like, yeah, that was a disappointment. I'm like, it just made no sense to me. That it really didn't.
Yeah. I mean,
what I was
the only movie.
Oh, go ahead.
The only movie that I'm looking forward to right now this year is Godzilla vs. Kong. I mean,
Mhm,
that
yeah,
I don't think has been pushed back yet because it's already been pushed back to November. And
yeah,
it's like, you know what? I'm willing to wait. I'm willing to wait. I'm hoping this will be good. I'm looking forward to it. And I'm hoping that they don't go stupid with it, because if they go stupid with it, and I'm not talking woke stuff, I'm talking stupid stuff like
yeah,
somehow they're going to bring back Ghidorah. And from what I heard from
right,
Russian leaks, they might have. And I'm like,
right.
well, that's just kind of
And also,
stupid.
yeah, I heard it's going toe to toe with the new James Bond movie, isn't it?
Sadly, yes, but James Bond is not, or they kind of alienated their fans because they were
Oh,
pushing the
geez,
whole,
what they do?
or they were pushing the woke politics stuff too.
Dear Lord, I mean, is every studio trying to shoot themselves in the foot? Because I'm just
With
saying this is
shotguns.
like the way I see it is like I understand the way politics go, and I understand the way these waves of different movements go. But my argument is whenever all this is said and done, whenever all this is over, I don't know when it will be, but when it is, you're going to look back at these movies and be like, "What the hell are they talking about?" You know what I mean? Or what were we thinking? Because
Mm-hmm.
as we know, these things go in waves. If it's
Oh
not one thing,
yeah.
it's another thing. If it's not one thing, it's something else. I mean, it's kind of funny like that. But I mean, it just really I don't know. I don't know. I'm more for escapism entertainment. Like I've said this before. I'm more for escapism entertainment than I am something being too politically charged and too, quote unquote woke or however you want to say it now. Self aware.
Yeah.
Self aware. I think that word I'd use.
Yeah. I really want to
But
see Godzilla versus Kong. King Kong is my favorite monster. Both of them are my favorite monster, and I'm going to be shedding
yeah,
tears when I see that movie because I don't know who to
yeah,
root for.
yeah. I also heard it's actually going to be shorter than the other movies. But
It might,
whether or not that's
but if I was them, I would make it 2.5 hours. It should be.
yeah. Well, they did say the running time was shorter than the other movies. I don't know how by how much, but it is shorter. But then
Yeah.
the from the early reviews, supposedly that works in its favor because it literally goes from monster scene to monster scene to monster scene. That from what
Yeah.
I heard of the early reviews, it's like they're not focused as much as on the humans, but more to the actual meat of the movie, which is the actual fights.
Yeah. Hopefully, though, um, I pay attention to Mr. H reviews.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He that guy has some or he's got the ends on a lot of things,
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
he's been consistently accurate with
Yeah.
his predictions because he has those inside tracks and
Oh yeah,
whatnot.
yeah.
And it's like, if you guys really want, or if you don't mind spoilers and whatnot, this guy
Right.
knows his stuff. He has the inside
Yeah.
track. And even when I heard about the spoilers, because the wonderful thing of how my mind operates is I can be told the plot of the entire freaking movie.
And you can see it.
And then yes, I could see it. But then when the time comes for me to see the movie, it's as if I was told nothing.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. It's like a blank slate.
That's a gift.
Yeah, that's true. Very true. Yeah, see, I'm a bit different when it comes to movies. When it comes to Godzilla movies, especially. Um, you know, we're in a day and age where you have nothing's ever really a surprise. There's always a leak. There's always people that know the inside scoop and stuff like that. and but yet at the same time, I want to try to go in as with as fresh of a mind as I can, and it's hard. It's I'm the opposite. It's very hard if I already found out the plot. It's very hard for me not to saying so. Reshoot it. Oh, I think we lost him. We just lost Orange Hat, but
I'm
no,
backstage.
like hold on. Let's see if he comes back.
Hold on. Oh. Here, open up my window. Am I back? Am I heard? Well, looks like I'm steady, so. Now I'm just not hearing.
Oh no, no. You hear me now?
Now I can hear you, yeah.
Okay, all right. Yeah. No, my mic got disconnected. That's all.
Oh, okay, got you. Whatever you say, bro. No, just kidding.
Yeah.
But yeah.
No, but like we were saying, no, that's pretty cool that you can do that. I can't. I have a very hard time, not unseeing something or unthinking something when I hear spoilers. So
yeah. I mean, one of the things that I wish they had
But,
delved deeper into for when they had this movie, King of Monsters, was page
Right.
296, I believe. Let me get to it because I actually do want to cover this one small thing and actually ask was it 196 or 290? I had to have been 296 because it's closer to the end of the movie. Then left from Boston, Osprey. I don't think it was 296. Might have been 292. No. Might have been 196. Yep. 196. Basically, I wish they had delved more into this. Rodan was still out there too. Motion captures from planes and ground bases showed volcanoes erupting as he flew past them. Satellite data presented a string of eruptions that coincided with his flight path, sending megatons of volcanic ash and gases into the atmosphere. It's like, I know he's basically an A-bomb on wings, but is he triggering the volcanoes? Like with an involuntary ability.
Right. See, I actually like that idea, and I wish they would have put it in the movie or suggested because, I mean, to me, that actually feeds more into the idea that these creatures were the first gods. And so for early civilizations, if Rodan can create all these volcanoes, Godzilla can spit radioactive fire out of his mouth. I mean, that it's scary enough in modern times. I can only imagine what like the ancient civilizations were thinking.
Well, they worshipped them.
So I really, exactly. And like I said, I really, really think they should have put that in. And also, another little tidbit, like when Behemoth, the mammoth slash sloth, the mammal titan, because of his fur, he carries spores with plants, so he can replant pretty much entire areas with just by walking by them. So like it's kind of cool. He kind of has the
fireproof.
Yeah, he's fireproof. Yeah. So like it's pretty cool, in my opinion, that each one has a power. Each one has a role to play in the world. If you think about it.
Even that blind one, Methuselah. Or do you know Altiori's channel?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. She has
Have you
some.
heard some of the POVs that woman has done? They are
Yeah.
freaking awesome. She made freaking
Some,
Rodan a damn Spaniard.
yeah.
It's like,
I love her
oh,
channel.
I love it. Actually, she subbed to my channel too, which is pretty cool.
Oh, that's cool.
Yep,
Yeah,
I've been
she has some really
communicating.
fun content. That's why I
Oh
was saying
yeah,
she
she
has some
does.
fun content for Godzilla
She
stuff.
has
Yeah,
her
hers is
POVs are now going to or to her other channel called Logicaholic.
Logicaholic. Okay, I'll have to
But
look that one
yeah,
up then.
but back to current events
Yeah.
in entertainment. Basically, stick with Bounding. I mean, they cover a lot of it, but oh my gosh,
Okay.
man, when I heard the Tessa Thompson thing, and even if it was from 2 years ago, imagine if somebody like you or I said that. We'd be out of Hollywood in a heartbeat. Because what she said, I don't
Not
really
just
want
out of
to work.
Hollywood, but I mean,
Yeah, we would. Our reputations would be irreparably damaged.
oh
But
yeah, of
because
course.
she has 3 victim cards she can play: person of color, woman, and sexuality. She can basically say, well, anybody who disagrees with me is sexist, racist, or anti-LGBTQ. And it's
Right.
like, no,
Right.
we're just anti-racist, and anti-sexist, which because of what you
Yeah.
said was kind of stupid, you know. I mean, hey, you gotta deal with what you
Right.
know. Did I just do Yogi?
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, you did. You did. You did Yogi. Fair.
God, I miss Yogi.
Well, that's like okay.
I,
Yeah, I do too. But all right, I'll give you a real world scenario, like a non-entertainment scenario. My trainer. I'm not really going to go into too much detail, but like my trainer,
Orange.
he has certain political views, and I agree with him on a lot of stuff. But he was telling me that because of his certain views, he actually got put on probation at one point he was because they thought he was being racist, and he wasn't. And trust me, I know he wasn't because you know I'm Asian, and it's like he treated me just the same as he would anybody else. So I don't know what they were thinking, but I'm just saying that this is the world we live in, and it sucks, freaking sucks. You can't even have a honest opinion anymore.
Yeah, they've been infringing on constitutional rights and whatnot. I mean,
Yeah,
if we really want to get into that, we could, but let's keep it to entertainment and we'll discuss that
yeah,
stuff later. But
yeah, that's true.
I mean, honestly, the one thing I will say is there better be some accountability after this whole thing is done to the responsible party. And I'm not talking about a political party.
Right.
I'm talking about the people that are ultimately or the government that is ultimately responsible for this thing. But moving on to entertainment stuff, we covered Tessa because basically it was during her European thing with Creed 2. I just don't want to work in a bunch of white men or white people. No offense. And she says no offense. It's like that's going to make it better. And then she's like, and I don't want to work. And then I don't want to be in.
The line with all due respect. It's always like no, more like kiss my ass is what all due respect means.
It's exactly. And then she's like, and I also don't want to work with a bunch of men. No offense. And it's like,
yeah.
Happy thoughts.
Yeah, I know.
Happy thoughts.
Happy
thoughts. Okay, I can't do the happy thoughts. But you know what? Here's the thing. If anybody said that about people of color or women, they'd be done. So this double standard has got to go. I'm sorry, this double standard has got to go. And I'm actually going to freaking forward that article. to every freaking news outlet. It's like, what do you guys have to or what would you guys say to her for making racist comments?
They won't say anything.
I know, but you never know.
Wow.
But
some won't,
I mean,
but no.
I just saw Creed 2. Honestly, I just saw that movie like 2 or 3 days ago. And this was after I had already heard her stuff, or heard about her saying it. And I'm like,
yeah.
So I watched Creed 2, and I hadn't even realized she was in it. And I'm like, oh, son of a bitch. But I watched Creed 2, and I'm like, okay, she's in it. Great. Oh, and as I'm watching this movie, because everybody knows Tessa Thompson has no rack. Adult folks, sorry, but
yeah,
Tessa, she's got nothing here.
Right.
So it's like when she spoilers, folks, sorry, but in Creed 2 she's pregnant. And looking at a pregnant belly with nothing here, it's like, yeah, that's not real pregnancy. And I'm like, yeah, where's the milk? That's all I'm asking. Milk? Where's exactly? It's exactly, man. Oh my God. It's like, got milk? Where is it? Because it's not where it's supposed to be.
You need to get a screenshot of her pregnant and then put on there got milk.
Oh my fucking God. I am going to go to my Amazon Prime after this, and I'm going to screenshot it, and I'm going to put got milk, and I'm going to put an arrow right toward them. And it's going to, oh my God, dude, that's going to be so freaking awesome. But anyway, the story was good because it was basically a return of the past with Drago and them.
Okay.
From Rocky IV. And it's like, huh. Okay. This is good.
Yeah, because it had Drago's son. And
yeah, it was Drago's son. And basically, it was like a mix between Rocky III and Rocky IV. It was Drago's from the Rocky IV, but it was like what happened in Rocky III story-wise. He gets his butt kicked, and then he has to train and fight again. So it's like,
right.
Yeah. But it was like a perfect blend of Rocky III and IV.
Oh, so it was a good story? I didn't get to see it, so.
Subjectively, I liked it. I liked it. Objectively, the movie has flaws, but it's still, I still gave it a 4 out of 5 objectively. I mean, the movie was good. I mean, it just had a couple of unrealistic things. I mean, yeah, a friend of mine told me a very funny story, but that's not attached to Rocky.
So,
yeah.
Let's think here. I'm trying to think of other current events that I was glancing at before I started this. So as far as like with this whole coronavirus and with the movie theaters not being open, did they? I heard that one of the things they first want to open up is actually movie theaters whenever they do lift these bans, and I thought that was kind of ironic. It's like, well, what about social services? What about the DMVs are all closed even. I mean, heck, not that anybody really is going to the DMV, but even they're closed. So, but the first thing that I heard people talk about was the movie theaters, and I was actually kind of surprised about that because I'm like, there's other things that still need to get open, but they were saying literally retail stores and the movie theater.
Here's the thing.
At least in PA, that was one of the big things.
Yeah. Here's the thing. When it comes to small businesses and how they want to reopen, it's like they should be open because here's the thing. All these big businesses, they're allowed to stay open. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. I mean, really, if you want to think about it, because if you're going to, or most of towns like my town, we don't have a Walmart. We don't have a Dick's Sporting Goods. We don't have any of that stuff. You want to know what we got? We got a Save-A-Lot, an IGA, and a Little Italy's is the big name thing that we have. If anybody knows what a Little Italy's is. It's a little
I've heard of it.
shop.
I've never been there.
Yeah. But yeah, that's all we have in the big name of things here. Is Little Italy's.
Right.
That's it, folks. I mean, we have other
Yeah.
local restaurants and local stores, but it's mostly a town that revolves around local business.
Right.
And
right.
these guys, even the freaking
how they-
laundry mats, which are essential, are
Yes, they are.
very limited in what they can do now.
Right. Yeah,
I mean, it's every other. Yeah.
I actually, well, when I was down in which state was it? I can't remember which state I was passing through when I was doing trucking, and they had just actually allowed, they had waived permits for any of the food trucks, so that way smaller business restaurants could actually go purchase a truck and do food in it without the permit. They waived the permit for temporary, so that way they could actually still generate money if they went and bought a food truck, which I thought was a good idea. But like, it kind of showed like how they're trying to bend the rules just enough, but at the same time, it's like and many of them said it was like too little, too late for them. So
Yeah.
because even with these stimulus checks, I mean, they're still once the stuff's lifted and like they're behind on their electric, they're behind on their what water and what have you. I mean, that's going to be a big expense for a lot of these places.
Exactly. And
that's
you also got the mainstream media. I call them the peddlers of panic right now. They're saying, or some of these people in the media are saying, we should wait till there's a vaccine. It's like, you idiots don't realize that is like a year to a year and a half at best. At least away.
Yeah.
That is at least a year and a half away. At best or at worst, it is 5 years to 10 years away.
Oh yeah.
You guys don't realize this is something we have not dealt with.
Yeah.
Now, and we can't keep this economic state the current economic state is not viable. So we have to start reopening. And here's the sad facts, folks. When we reopen, there's going to be a surge in positive testing.
Yeah.
People are going to get sick. What you have to do is play it smart. Keep the old people home. Don't visit the old people if you're sick. Work on antibody testing to know whether or not if you have it. And also lift the ban on 80s blood donor. Have if you want, or if you were in Germany during the 80s, you can't give blood. I was born in Germany during the 80s, so I can't give blood, and I'm a universal donor. I'm O negative. They could use my blood. So it's like,
but you can't.
Exactly. And it's like, how about you guys test my blood? And if you can test it, well, maybe you can allow me to give because I'm willing.
Yeah.
But
exactly. Yeah.
It's like, what you guys got to, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
But anyway.
I know it's like a cluster. But yeah, like, so when it comes to the entertainment, what I was trying to get at is, how you were saying a lot of movies have gotten pushed back to next year. I mean, what do you think this for, like, say, I know I'm not a big fan of these, but what's that going to do for like all these award shows, like the Oscars and Grant, all that stuff? I mean, it seems like there's going to be nobody, like, there's literally going to be
video conference them all in.
Well, not just that, but all the movies that you're going to choose from are going to be like these independent. Well, they're already mostly independent movies, and nobody's even ever heard of them. But it's just like I mean, what the heck are they going to do if they keep pushing all these movies back, especially these major releases? You know, I mean, it just seems, you know,
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean,
I'm kind of confused too. It's like, is this really even hurting Hollywood or not? Because it
yes.
just doesn't seem like, is it?
Yes, it is. Or the box office is basically broke right now. Disney
Okay.
itself actually asked for a $6 billion bailout, which is not really helping them. They got it, but it didn't help because they're still 70
They had how
or
much?
60 some odd
They
billion
had
in
how
debt
much
because
of
of
a
Fox.
bailout again?
Say what?
How much of a bailout did they get?
6 billion.
And it still didn't help them.
Well, considering they purchased Fox for 72 billion and they didn't have
Oh,
72
that's
billion
okay.
to purchase them.
Oh, they're still against that. Okay. Well, hey, that's their own fault for doing that.
Yeah. I mean, and they
They
just
really
furloughed
haven't utilized
100,000
anything.
employees.
Yeah, but they really haven't utilized that whole purchase of Fox. Like they
Yeah,
canceled
they're
The
not using
Simpsons.
it. Yeah, they're not
They're
using
not
it
using.
to their fullest effect. And the
Yeah.
reason why is because they're pushing those stupid agendas, which is pushing viewers and ratings down.
Yes.
And they don't realize that it's actually hurting them. And here's the thing, folks. This was starting to happen before COVID-19
Yeah.
struck. And
Yeah.
we can actually mention this because, or before, like last month, even, if you even said COVID-19, coronavirus, or any of that stuff on your channel, if you were monetized, you'd get demonetized.
Yeah.
Your
I heard
video
about
would be
that.
demonetized, or they might even pull your stream outright.
Yeah.
Now they've lifted it, basically saying if you talk about it, do not attach any falsehoods to it. And
Right.
it's like, okay, what would you consider falsehoods?
Yeah. Because they change the information about it every day, so how can you even say it's false at one point? Because
Yeah.
you just don't know. But like,
But we can
I actually heard
we can mention it. We just can't attach any conspiracies to it.
Oh, conspiracy theories. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, actually, even before all this hit, like this COVID-19 and all that, I heard
Yeah.
they actually lost money from the purchase of Star Wars. Like they didn't even make their money back from the purchase. Now, is
They
that
haven't.
true?
Not when it comes to movie. When it comes to movie earnings from their movies that they have done, episodes 7, 8, and 9, plus Rogue One and Solo, I think. Yeah, Solo.
All right. Yeah.
Just got to chill.
Yeah.
From the mere mention of that movie.
Right.
But when it comes to those movies, Solo lost money.
Yeah.
Rogue One did good. Episode 9 didn't even do as good as Rogue One, I believe.
Right.
Rogue One, or not Rogue One, Episode 9 lost to the Joker. How's that for entertainment news?
Oh, yeah.
It lost
Hey,
to
at
the
least
Joker
DC
by a
probably
few
topped,
10,000s of dollars. And it's like,
I'm just
you
saying.
guys, it's like you guys realize you got a release in China. You got all of that. You even you paid to have your movie extended, and you still lost to the Joker?
Well, yeah.
I mean, let's look at it, folks. Chinese release, extended release, and all the praise in the world. Rise of Skywalker made that, or it makes this amount, X amount. Now, look at Joker. Everybody's gonna die. People are gonna kill people. The government literally puts the freaking military on alert.
Yeah.
And cities around different theaters are putting cops in those theaters,
Right. Yeah.
and the media just can't stop trashing it. Joker's final tally makes Y amount. X is greater than, or X is less than Y in this instance by, I think, I actually did math. It was around like $37,000 that they lost to them, or lost to the Joker by. And it's like, you do realize that many theaters wouldn't even air the Joker.
Yep.
Almost every theater did Rise of Skywalker. Now, you guys must ask yourselves, what'd you do wrong?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I it's just, like, when you really think about it, it's kind of insane that a movie about a villain, which is more of a character study than anything else, outdid one of the popular science fiction franchises in history.
Yeah. And here's another thing, folks.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I was going to say, not just that. When it comes to Star Wars, Disney forced theaters to have more than a certain amount of screens. If they couldn't meet that expectation, they pulled the film. So, like, there, they had a monopoly, and they still couldn't do it.
Yep. And here's the thing, folks. Also, China wouldn't release the Joker in their theaters because of the stuff going on in Hong Kong at the time. So you also got that, and the Joker made over $1 billion in full total gross. Its total gross earnings percentage outdid Endgame and many other movies. It's the highest grossing rated R film ever. So, and it beat Star Wars Episode 9. You guys need to ask yourselves, do we really need Chinese box office boosts? Well, I'm going to give you the short answer. No, for movies like Joker, but yes, for businesses and corporations like Disney. Because I guarantee you, take away the Disney box office, or take away the box office earnings from China for all of the Disney movies.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you, they wouldn't be as high, or they would be very low.
Well, yeah, because all they've been doing is remakes.
Exactly, and they also depend on China, and it's like, you guys shouldn't have done it. You guys should learn from the Joker. Now, here's a movie that, honestly, it got a little overhyped, in my opinion. Yes, the movie is good. Objectively, that movie is a freaking Scorsese masterpiece without Scorsese doing any bit of it at all. But it's it's not that big of a deal. No. Now, the Joker is good, like I said. I mean, but it's not that big of a deal. But yet this movie beat out in earnings the top movie in the box office, which was Endgame. It beat it won by a hair against Episode 9. And all of these movies got as much help as they could. This movie made $1 billion without the biggest boost from China. So it's like, you guys got to think about this. Look at how this could be done. Adjust your formula. You might find that you don't need China.
Oh, yeah.
But you guys are willing to pay homage to a communist nation, change up your movies, take stuff out when you're saying that you're championing for these causes. You then cut that crap out so they can be aired in places like China and the Middle East and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Because everybody knows about that kiss of the 30-year-old and the 60-year-old. But it's like you say you're all for championing these rights, right? You say that
Right.
you want to be, or you want to give all this representation, this beautiful representation. China wants us to cut that kiss out. Yeah, cut it out. Who cares?
Yeah.
That's basically Disney's. That was basically Disney's attitude. Cut it out. Let them have it. Oh, also the Middle East wants us to or cut it out as well. Cut it out. Let them have it. So, Disney, what are you going to tell the LGBTQs when they ask, why'd you cut that stuff out? Well, if we're going to be completely honest, we don't really care about you guys or gals or whatever you are in between. We just want money. That's us being honest.
That's any business.
Yeah, put the frickin' liar curse on Disney, but make it go for a year instead of a day.
Yeah.
I guarantee you they'd be kicked off Twitter.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that's just me having an evil fantasy.
Well, and that's the thing. One of the things that I've been really recently, especially getting older and that kind of thing, is one of the things that I've been getting more and more critical of, as far as these bigger corporations like certain movie studios and stuff like that. It's like, guys, just say it how it is. Stop trying to sugarcoat it and make it seem like one thing when it's really not. It's like, you just say it for what it is. I mean, you want to make money. That's all you have to do. Be honest. You're trying to make money. Okay, fine. I'll drop it then. Whatever.
Exactly.
What I don't understand though is how some of these places like Disney, they're losing money and yet they're still thinking that they're the greatest thing on earth. It's like, guys, you're losing money. It's like, how else can we get to some of these guys? Like, seriously. Like, especially
you're hemorrhaging money in a way that you really don't want to.
Yeah,
is basically what they need to understand.
I mean, I understand court of a public opinion. I understand that, but it's getting a bit too much here, and it's just
I indeed agree. I agree, sir. I definitely agree with you, sir.
Did you ever watch the movie Gran Torino with Clint Eastwood?
Love that movie.
Okay, imagine that even half the stuff that he's saying in that movie, and try and make that movie right now. I mean, Clint Eastwood has an advantage because he's such a legend in Hollywood, but at the same time, try. Just see what you can do.
He would make it and he wouldn't care.
I love that. Yeah, well, that's what I mean, but he has the clout. I'm talking about if, like, say, another corporation or say a younger director tried to do a movie like that. That's what I mean.
Let's just say that it wouldn't. I mean, it wouldn't go. But here's the thing. Yeah. Also, if you look at It, have you ever read the book It?
Oh, they have that whole scene about the orgy and all that.
Yeah, the sewer orgy of the kids. Yes. Imagine if that was written today, it would never be published. Just saying.
Yeah, that's fair.
It would never be published.
Well, that's like, I mean that, and I remember Anna, that Star Wars girl. She had actually talked about that one time, and she said, people were being critical about like, it has to be like book accurate and stuff like that. And she goes, and she brought up that scene from the book in It, and she goes, that will never see the light of day in the movie. Never. She was saying, you can't always have something that's completely accurate to the book, because there are some things in certain books, I mean, you just can't do. I mean, literally, you can't do it.
No, you can't.
And that is one. And well, that's like oh geez, there are books from, like, I remember, and they're hard to find. They're almost banned books now. Some of those crime novels from like the 70s and 80s, I mean, they were pretty graphic in what they were describing too. And it's like, geez, you probably couldn't even get away with half that stuff. I honestly think some of the crime books that are coming out now, they're like tame compared to some of the crime books from like the 80s and early 90s. I mean, they really describe everything.
I've read books that would, I was in a place where the only entertainment you had was to read. And let's just say
Right.
all the stuff that you were able to read was not stuff that you would ever want to read outside and whatnot. Because here's the thing, I've read stuff that is disgusting to the point that it makes the scene in It Chapter 2, or not Chapter 2, but the It novel look tame at best.
I'm sure. And I completely believe saying that.
And it's like, sadly, that's the only crap that they have available because they won't give you any of the good stuff. Like, they won't give you any of the freaking John Grishams or Michael Crichtons.
Right.
I mean, there was a lot of Dean Koontz. Good stuff, Dean Koontz. But other than that, it's just cheesy freaking sex novels. And it's like, oh, God, I'm sick of this shit. I mean, when a person here's the thing, folks. If you get sick of a cheesy sex novel when you're reading a bunch of books and have nothing to do but read, you know something's wrong.
Yep.
I'm just saying.
Yep. That's very true.
And it's nothing wrong with you. It's something wrong with all these freaking twisted authors.
Oh, yeah. There's some
Laurel K. Hamilton. Yeah. I would love to know your internet history. I mean, woman, holy crap. That's all I'm saying. Laurel K. Anderson or Hamilton, show me, what does your internet history look like? I mean, seriously, you twisted freaking woman. You got some good books, but other books, it's like, what the beep? Holy.
So another thing, entertainment wise and current news wise is I was looking at some of the, when I was traveling around, I was trying to catch as much of the news and as much as the like little snippets online as I could, but so honestly, like, I was seeing how many movies got delayed and stuff like that, and I was like, wow, it's like, what's actually still left?
Morbius.
Morbius,
I really want to see Morbius, but sadly it got pushed to like a year later, and it's like, I don't want to wait till March in 2021. I want it now.
I know the other thing. It's not really a current event, but it was one of the things I was looking at when I was on the road. The whole the guy who plays the Flash, or he chokeslammed
Ezra Miller.
Like that?
Yeah, Ezra Miller.
Yeah, what's going on with that?
Well, here's the thing. He was in Norway, or as some people call it, Norwegia.
Okay.
I don't call it that. I call it Norway. And he was at a bar. There's snow on the ground, and he's in sandals and a big red coat.
Yeah, I saw that.
And so he gets drunk. You want to fight? You want to fight? Grabs the woman by the throat, Terminator-wise, and just drag her down the ground. You want to fight? It's like, dude, whoa, bro. And that's when they cut it. It's only 7 seconds, but it's very damning.
Right.
And everybody was saying, it's allegedly. It's like, here's the thing. I've done research. You know how hard it is to get anybody that looks like Ezra Miller to sound like Ezra Miller? Also, do you know how hard it is to get people who sound like Ezra Miller to look like Ezra Miller? Ezra Miller is truly a specimen of a one of a kind. He's easy to impersonate voice-wise, but not look-wise.
Right.
If there is a doppelganger of that man, it is only, well, hold on, folks. Sorry, I got to stop. I'm sorry for accidentally misgendering Ezra Miller. He goes by they, them. Guess what? I don't care.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I don't care if the guy goes by they, them. He is a guy. And I honestly would confuse everybody if I tried saying they and them about Ezra Miller, because, or about anyone really, because it's just so freaking confusing. So we're gonna go by common sense, folks. So I'm not misgendering him to be an asshole. I'm not sticking to his preferred pronouns because it would confuse you if I did. So
yeah,
he gets into this thing. They kick him out of the bar, and he has to stay out there until, or the bouncers keep him out there until he's picked up. There's nothing beyond that. Nothing beyond that. But but did the internet blow up like scanners?
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
I mean,
but
they called for him to be kicked off of frickin' Fantastic Beasts 3. They called for him to be kicked out of The Flash. Cancel culture went hard after him. And here's what I did. It's like, okay, I saw this video. Where was this? Norway? Okay. Well, Norway, they don't do things the same here as they do there. If this was done in the United States, at best for him, it would be a drunken disorderly. At worst for him, it would be an assault charge, a lawsuit, and his career goes down the tubes. So it is up to whatever the country of Norway decides to do. And he's not going anywhere because of quarantine and all that stuff. So nobody really knows what's going on. He hasn't given an official statement or anything.
Yeah, I was going to say, I heard about it, and then it literally went silent because he didn't say anything. His publicist didn't say anything. The people of Norway didn't say anything. So it's like, okay, it just ended, I guess. Yeah, it disappeared.
Yeah, as quick as it started, it fizzled out because there was some stuff that came out a little bit after, a little bit more of the detailed accounts, but that was about it. And then it just fizzled out to nothing. It's like, yeah, Ezra Miller choked out a bitch. So what? I mean, that's how some people said it. You should have seen Lethal Lightning and how he was covering it.
Oh, geez.
It's like, yeah, Ezra Miller choked out a bitch. It's like, oh my God. Everybody knows how lethal is, folks. Everybody knows how lethal is.
Oh, yeah.
But, jeez.
Yeah.
It's just, he handled it with gusto. But yeah, that's all there really is to say about Ezra.
Yeah, it's I was even on the road. I heard about that, and I was like, wow. And it's I'm going to put it to you this way. Fun. When you live at your job, you live in the truck. You kind of don't worry about much of anything except for your job. So it is kind of funny because I get tidbits here and there, and then I'm back on working and stuff like that. But it's I finally got to come home because I had a family issue to take care of, and
sorry to hear that.
Oh no, it'll be okay. Everything will be all right. But yeah, it's like I actually got some downtime, and then I've been trying to catch up on all kinds of stuff. And like the biggest thing for me is like this whole coronavirus thing, and then also I'm trying to catch up on my entertainment fix. And it's like, it's kind of funny how like some things have not changed, obviously, in the last couple of months, and then some things have radically changed. So one of the things that one of the stories from the road that I wanted to share a bit is so this is why I put on this not for children, because I'm just going to blatantly say what happened. So we had this one trainee. I'm not going to name names. I'm not going to do that. But and he was a okay guy, and I thought it was fine. I mean, had a little bit of a hard time driving some maneuvers, but nothing that couldn't be fixed, right? So one morning, I'm driving. My trainer's beside me, and my trainer goes and wakes him up and said, "Hey, we're getting breakfast." All right. So he's fiddling around in the back of the truck there. Mind you, there's like a bunk bed in the back of our cab there. And so then all of a sudden, after a couple minutes later, this liquid just starts pouring down on the dashboard, on my trainer, on me. Well, it was pee. He peed in a cup because he couldn't go in the bathroom. Then he sat his cup up on the top of this like incline thing. Well, the cup spilled and then spilled literally over the dash onto me and the other guy and the trainer. And I'm like, "Hey, what's that water stuff?" And I'm like, and my trainer's like, "Oh, that's piss." And he went back there and he's like flipping out. Oh yeah. So yeah, we had that happen.
Yeah. That's just it's like, oh my god.
Yeah. So that was a interesting day. And then we cleaned the truck.
Mm-hmm. Jeez, everybody's live right now.
Yeah. But,
damn, you're going up against some big names here. Everybody is live. It's like, oh my gosh, people. Well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to share your stream.
It's fine. It's not a big deal, bud. I mean, I'm just doing this because it's fun. Look,
yeah, and you want to know what I'm going to say in the tweet? Learn the trucker life. Learn about the trucker life. And here we
not
go.
Not much to learn other than patience.
Learn about the trucker life. It didn't translate all the way.
It never does.
Let's try again. Learn about the trucker life. You suck. Oh, this thing. Now I just got to type it. Screw it.
Yeah, type it. Just type it. Yeah. I hate those voice things anyway. They never do it right.
Yeah, mine's been going downhill for a while. I'm going to have to get a new phone. Yeah. Maybe when my stimulus check comes in, I can actually get a new phone. Because this one is 2 years old.
Oh, I hear you. But yeah, I like I said, it's I just do this for fun, man. It's not a big deal. I understand, like, with the whole, I'm not doing this for subscribers. I'm not doing this for money. I'm actually pretty good on money right now, but so I like doing this because I like having conversations.
Yeah, me too.
I like talking about entertainment and stuff like that. When I was on the road talking to my trainer, oh yeah, we talked about all kinds of bullshit, and it's like, it's just fun. It's just nice to, chat. And I'm so grateful that I actually had a trainer I really liked and I got along with, because like I said, I've heard horror stories where some people's trainers, they're assholes, or they didn't teach them anything or whatnot. And it's like, wow, and they're
wonder if anybody had a female trainer.
Yes, some did. Yeah, some did actually. And
lucky guys.
I didn't hear it. Yeah, well, I didn't. Well, I don't know. Some of these women look like they could probably beat up most guys I know.
Some guys are into that.
Not well, yes, but not me. But no. It was refreshing to actually have a trainer that actually did very well, and I got along with. So I'm very grateful for that. But yeah, being a truck driver it's not for everybody. I'm going to put it that way, because you are gone for very long periods of time from your family, from your friends, like I said, like I'm so behind on like current events, and it's kind of hilarious,
Hmm.
because you only can do you're pretty much at your job 24/7. You know,
Yeah.
but
What on earth?
anyway,
Never mind. I'm not even gonna touch that. Ugh, sorry. I just saw something flipping weird on my phone, and I'm putting my phone away for the rest of that night. Ugh.
I see,
Some
but
dude.
yeah,
Ugh. I'll tell you about it later.
uh, oh, okay. So now, do you have that CBS access or anything like that? Like, have you seen
Hell
Picard
no.
or any of that those shows? No.
I decided to leave my fondest memories of Picard untarnished by not watching this shall we say Deadpool version of Picard.
Wait, what? I see. I don't
They
know
are
anything
ripping
about it.
people's eyes out in that freaking show,
Oh,
showing the
okay.
full gruesomeness
Why?
because it's not on TV.
Well, no, I know that, but why in the context of Star Trek? I'm just saying, in the
Exactly.
context of Star Trek, that's not something Gene
Also,
Roddenberry. Okay.
yeah, also freaking Patrick Stewart ruined it for me. I was thinking about it, doing the whole all access free trial thing, but then
Yeah.
I saw all that stuff that this is my political outlook being in these episodes. It's like, well, I already know your political outlook. It's stupid, so I'm not even going to bother. You basically just
Yeah.
made Star Trek not Star Trek. You basically said that the people of the Star Trek universe have reverted after becoming no longer racist or biased, or they put aside all their petty differences for the greater of mankind to spread out amongst the stars. So
Yeah. Okay. All right.
now you're saying that they're all right back to where they started?
Okay.
No thanks.
Yeah. Okay. About that whole thing. I'm not. I don't know that much about Star Trek. I really don't. Not that I don't like the franchise or anything like that. I actually do enjoy plenty
Guess
of
what?
episodes. I just what?
You're better off not knowing.
Okay, but the point I'm trying to make is everyone seems to say about like with ever since uh, well, ever since like Star Trek Into Darkness, like it's been like turned into something it's not. I don't know. I mean, I like I said, I don't really keep up with Star Trek that much. So, I mean, is that true? Like a true statement? Is did what or has it already been ruined before that? I'm just wondering.
Honestly, I'm not a Trekkie or a Trekker or whatever they call them. But basically,
Hmm.
they kind of made the Romulans out to be true dickheads, and in this one, I mean, Picard is basically a champion of Romulan rights or something. Honestly,
Okay.
I have no clue, and it's like, well, here's the thing. What? Why can't you just tell a story? I want to know a story. Tell me a story, but tell me it good. Whisper it in
Right.
my ear, and if it's sweet nothings, I'll like it. If it's sweet somethings, I'll hate it. Because here's the thing, I want to escape. I don't
Right.
want to be preached at. And what you have done, as many of people have said, is preach. I honestly recommend you, G-Fan, if you want to know about it, listen to Altiori. She does some pretty good synopsis on it.
Okay.
And she actually likes it. So that's where she and I would differ. Me, I'm not going
Right.
to like anything that disparages of real world nonsense. because it's real world and it has no place in the fake world. And I have
Oh yeah.
way too many people, which is one too many people. It's only one person that has always told me this. Art imitates life, and it's like art should not imitate life.
Yeah.
Go back to Salvador Dali. Surrealism. It's beautiful. Yeah. Hold on, just gotta run my water here, so I'm gonna mute for a second.
That's fine. But yeah, if my audience is out there, I'm just saying, yeah, I'm not really doing this
back.
for like to be a big YouTuber. Never had that intention. Never will have that intention. I just am doing this for my own sake. You know. Okay, awesome. But
and
yeah,
yeah,
I think it's kind of funny because that's like okay, me being. Go ahead.
No. You keep talking about your trucker life, man. That's awesome stuff. I want to hear more.
Oh, really? Okay. Well,
yeah, but first, before you do anything else, you have seen Dragon Ball Z Abridged, yes?
Yes.
So I need you to say one line while we're on here. Are you ready?
Okay.
I'm Android 13. Where's my trucker hat?
That's a good one. Good one.
I had to.
Yeah, that a good one. Good one. I didn't even think of that, but yeah, good one. No, like okay, so you know, we when I first said I was going to try this out, yeah, my dad was kind of looking at me like kind of weird, and he's like, "So wait, you're going to be like one of those redneck truckers?" And I said to him like, "Well, Dad, if I come back with a John Deere hat and a flannel shirt, you'll know what happened." And okay, in all honesty, and I'm going to be honest, truck drivers, there's a very diverse group of them. Trust me, it's every walk of life. You know, that it's not just the stereotypical redneck southern accent kind of person. It's very diverse. So for those who think that the old stereotype, it's that stereotype. If it was true, it's long gone. Trust me, long gone. But yeah. Also, another thing I was very surprised about was I saw when I was pulled into truck stops, I saw a ton and a lot of husband and wife teams. Both husband and wife had a CDL, so like they would go on the road together. A lot of times, and also like with my company, if I want my wife to come, that's allowed. I just pay extra money out of my paycheck for the insurance. So they do encourage that. And I think the reason being is because you are out for so long. You are out for like a couple months at a time. And then when you do come home, it might be for a day or two, or it might even be for just a couple hours. You don't know. So that's one thing about that I think they were trying to change. And that's why a lot of companies, not just the one I work for, they allow the husband and wife teams. They actually kind of encourage it in some places. So, it's a lot different than what people think. I'll put it to you that way.
Yeah, and that's cool to know.
Yeah,
because it's like all walks of life, husbands and wives. Great shit, man. Now, do you have one of those big cabs where the bed and stuff is built in?
Yes, yeah. Ours are because I'm on the national line. Yeah, we sleep in the truck. Yeah, so yeah, we have bunk beds.
Oh, nice, man.
Yeah,
you should actually take a picture of inside that thing if you're allowed to.
And there's actually a safety net too. So if one guy's driving, the other guy's sleeping. That way we don't fall out the bunk if he decides to hit the brake real quick. So,
Yeah.
and that's
Nice.
actually happened to people from what I've heard, and usually it results in the hospital stay. So yes, very much you want the safety net. And it's installed on all the new trucks. Also, my truck is an automatic. It's not a manual. It's automatic.
Nice. So you don't have to worry about shifting gears and all that.
Yeah, well, the way the industry is going, it's going to all be manual eventually. So,
All be stick shift or all be automatic?
oh, sorry, all be automatic. I'm not manual, non-manual. They'll all be automatic eventually. They said. Also, too, with the automatics, unlike stick shift, the companies can actually govern how fast they go. So my company, our maximum road speed is 65 miles an hour. That's it. You can't go faster than that, unless you're going down the hill. Then it's just gravity and weight that pulls you down. But if you go on a straight road, you can't go past 65, and they do that as a safety precaution. And a lot of other industries are starting to do that because it's become a safety issue with truck drivers driving too fast, that kind of thing. So that's going to be probably standard soon for all of them. Like as far as
They should do it sooner because I had a run-in with a trucker while I was driving my landlady and the clients. And here's what happened. This guy was going at least 70.
Mm-hmm.
And he was a mile down the road from when I was pulling out of the parking area or the parking place off the side of the road.
Yeah.
Rest stop is what they call it. And this dude came right up to my ass as I was doing 65, and I thought he was going to actually hit me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm like, what the frick? Dude, are you trying to intimidate me? Because one, I'm not, or you did a good job because I might have pissed myself. And two, you didn't even slow down when I had the turn. I had the turn going freaking, holy shit, man. What the hell is wrong with this driver?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying that's all truck drivers, obviously,
no.
but it's like, dude, you should
I see your point.
Not have been doing that fast.
Yeah. Also, that's the other thing on our trucks. There's a safety feature. If we are getting too close to a car in front of us, it will actually automatically engage the engine brake, meaning we'll lose RPMs. So it's like a forced slowdown.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's a lot of safety features on our trucks. Now, that being said, there's a lot of truck drivers that hate those because they feel it takes control away from the driver, which essentially it does, but it's in the interest of safety. Now, that being said, you never want to engage your engine brake when you're going over snow or ice. So, yeah, I see where they're coming from, but you're not always going to have snow and ice. You know what I mean? So,
yeah,
it just depends. There's actually a lot of DOT. When I talk about DOT, it's Department of Transportation. There's a lot of regulations there that you have to follow. For instance, you can't have more than 70 hours in an 8-day work period. In other words, you can't drive more than 70 hours in an 8-day work period. If you get to 70 hours within an 8-day work period, you're forced to take a 34-hour reset, which means you stop for 34 hours and you do nothing. You either sleep or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So, which that's for the safety of the driver and safety of the public, because you have some of these, and that's actually a good thing, because back in the day, you would have a lot of companies would force their drivers to just keep working. They wouldn't even get any sleep, and then they fall asleep at the wheel. Bad things happen, that kind of thing. So at first, a lot of drivers were against it, but then they realized no, it was actually for their benefit. That way, companies can't overwork you. But at the same time, you being a driver, say you have a load, but say you're coming up to that 70-hour marker, you have to also inform your DM, which is your driver manager, before you get a load, saying, "Hey, I only have like 2 or 3 hours till I have to take a 34-hour reset. Do you still want me to take this load?" A lot of times they'll say no, and they'll let you take the 34-hour reset early or something like that. Because a lot of these loads are timed.
Right.
Like you have, like you're 5 states away, but you have 2 days to make the drop. So they want to make sure it's there on time, and also make sure you're safe too. So because there've been so many uh, truck accidents and stuff like that, that it costs. Not only is it dangerous for the public, but it also costs these companies a lot of money when you get into an accident. I mean, these trucks aren't cheap. So even though just a one truck accident is a lot of money plus whatever you're carrying, sometimes that could be easily $1 million lost in product. You know.
Wow.
Oh yeah, yeah. And like okay, so say if you work at a retail store, right, and you accidentally drop like
Mm-hmm.
a jar of a glass jar that has a candle. They'll just write that off as an oops moment and no big deal. Well, imagine carrying what we carry, which is an entire store worth of candles, and then those getting destroyed. What do you think happens usually? A lot of yelling.
Say that again. Sorry, I had my hearing cut out for a sec
Oh, no, no, it's all
on
right.
my
Well, so
phones.
it's pretty much just saying that, like, as a truck driver, you are
Yeah.
responsible for a lot more product than, like, say a retail worker. Like I said, um, you drop a candle, a glass candle,
Mhm.
and it shatters. No big deal. It's just one candle. Well, what if
Yeah.
you're carrying a whole truckload, which is essentially a store's worth of candles, and you get into a wreck? What do you think? What do you think the conversation will
Oh,
be?
you're gonna lose your job.
Well, losing job is one thing.
You're
Also,
also gonna have to pay the. They're also probably gonna make you pay the damages.
here's the
Or
thing. Um, you have to understand, as a CDL holder, you are also held to a higher standard. So, meaning, if you get into an accident, it's your fault. Let's just say the fines are tripled. So it's instead of a couple $100, it's a couple $1,000 you have to pay. Yeah, people like, and that also means, believe it or not, if I'm since I'm a CDO holder, that also applies if I'm in a regular personally owned vehicle. If I get into a wreck, even though I'm not driving my truck, if I get into a wreck and it's my fault in a regular car, I am still held to a higher standard, meaning I still would have like that $1,000 fine.
yeah.
Yeah, and as far as drinking and
That's
driving, don't even think about it. Don't even, because not only that, but because you are a CDL holder, that means you're dictated by the Department of Transportation. So meaning your case will be brought before a federal judge, not a local one, or not anything. And usually that means a mandatory jail sentence. So
Yikes.
yeah, I'm telling you. That's why I say driving a truck or being a CDL holder is not for everybody, because you are held to a higher standard. People don't realize that. It's one of the reasons why a lot of these guys, these truck drivers and all that, they lose their. You can very easily lose your license, and not just that, but your freedom too. I mean,
Mhm.
it's very much something you really want to take into account before you even try to decide that you want to become a truck driver or have a CDL in general, because you are held to a higher standard, and people just don't realize that.
I'm still here. I'm just
Yeah,
quite shocked into silence.
yeah, oh yeah, yeah. It's not really common knowledge. They don't talk about this unless you're actually at the school, or getting your CDL. They don't tell you that until you get there, and then you find all this information out. And a lot of people can't take the pressure, and they end up leaving. So and because it is a lot on you. It's also one of the things that I was told in training, and it's one of the things that they harp on, and it kind of gives the wrong impression. So you have to do everything in your power to protect your CDL, your career, and your livelihood. That is your main things when you become a truck driver. That being said, it makes it seem like many truck drivers are selfish and just into it for themselves. That's not true. It's just that it's very easy for us to lose it and not just lose our career, but also lose our freedom because we went to jail
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So it kind of, I kind of understand why it seems like, a lot of people think, oh, truck drivers, they act like they own the road and stuff like that. It's not that we act like we own the road. It's just that we have deadlines. We got to get there. Now there are a lot of truck drivers that don't drive safe, and trust me, I've seen it already, and I've only been out for a month and a half. But that being said, there's a lot of pressure, especially now, considering that there are so many, the supply and demand is so topsy turvy right now, where many places can't keep up with the demand, and so that taxes more for transport, which means we're like running constantly. So it's it is very strange out there, and also too with the whole shutdowns and stuff like that, and not that many people traveling. All you see is trucks, So you get like one or two cars, and they're behind, and trucks are taking up both lanes. They're not going anywhere fast. I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, yeah, a lot of people actually don't know that, and I didn't know that when I first went to school. I didn't know that like having a CDL means you're a professional driver, meaning if you get in trouble, you really get in trouble. Like it's bad. So
Yeah, there's no second chances on it.
nope, there is none. No, there is none, and that's why. But that's also why you see these schools and you see so many people graduate and stuff like that, but then you don't see that many truckers because, truth be told, the first 9 months of a trucker's career, they're 90% likely to get into an accident, and then they're done. Yes, it's like in the 90s. So it's it's a very much. I live by two things when I from my trainer. And the two things I learned was keep safe, keep moving. In other words, safety above all, but also you don't you want to make money, so you have to keep moving. You have to keep driving. And when I mean that by in a safe way, but it's the hard reality of it is that yeah, people look at regular people in regular cars. People have accidents all the time. But you're in a vehicle that's well, you have a 53-foot trailer, you're carrying over 20,000 pounds worth of product. You run into something, it's pretty significant, and so it's yeah, it's a very different life. I'll put it that way, very different life, and you look at things a lot differently when it comes to driving.
That's pretty cool and
Yeah.
scary at the same time.
Yeah, and it is. But my trainer was really good, and he was like I now have a better idea of my surroundings because I look at things a lot different. So wind, okay, high winds actually can tip over your truck, especially if you have an empty trailer. So one of the things that you look for, if you look at your surroundings, if you see the grass move, there's wind. So hey, I have to be careful. There's high wind. You see snow, you have to go like half your speed. You see, that's why like when it comes to like rain and snow, if you ever see like these truckers like slowing to a crawl, that's why. Now you have other guys, they're flying down and they're going to get into their luck will run out eventually. Trust me.
Yeah, they hydroplane and then they frickin' jackknife and it's over.
Yeah. Yep, it will catch up to them, and that's what my trainer said. Trust me, don't you worry about those what they quote unquote call super truckers. He goes, it will catch up to them, and it's going to be in a bad way. So, okay, and I'll put it to you this way. I don't know how well you know interstates. I was on I-80 in Wyoming, and two separate times, I-80 shut down, so we had to pull over to a truck stop and wait it out. Twice, two different times on I-80. in Wyoming. Because Wyoming, what happens with Wyoming is they get those very fast snowstorms, like because of the high winds up there, and it just boom,
Yeah.
like 10 minutes, it's
Covering.
yeah, and they actually close the interstate. So once they close the interstate, you have to find a place to pull over. Usually at a truck stop, if you're lucky. If you're lucky, if not, pull over to the side of the road. Even though that's probably the worst advisable thing you can do, because you're more likely to get hit by somebody else. But
Yeah.
hey, it's the interstate's closed. You have to pull over. Oh yeah, I one time we were passing down this stretch of road, and the night before there was a snowstorm, and
Mhm.
but when I was driving the next morning, it was sunny, nice, and everything else. I saw trucks, six off the road, like because they crashed off the road, six of them. I'm like, wow,
Big ones like yours?
or bigger. I saw a FedEx with three trailers, a FedEx truck with 3 trailers, and it looked like it was a snake because it whenever they went into the road, they must have tried to turn. Well, it ends up their tractor head, which is the truck part, was aiming toward the last um, trailer in the back, so it looked like a snake. It was that bad
Oh
of a
my gosh,
yeah.
man.
It looked like a snake. There was another one. It was tipped over to the side. Another one went into the medium where the metal and steel cables are. So it was all wrapped up in the cable. Oh yeah,
Oh.
yeah. And first and foremost, hopefully they weren't hurt. But then second and foremost, they have to call like a roadside person to try to get those trucks out of those fields and stuff like that. And that
Yeah.
takes even more money because
Oh, I don't doubt it.
it weighs a lot too. So, oh yeah, it's yeah. I
One
mean,
thing
you like I
I've
said,
always wondered, and I don't know if your truck has these, but there are some wheels underneath the big cab part that are raised off the ground. What are those
oh,
for?
the ones that are raised. What it is we don't have those on ours. What it
Okay.
is the ones that usually have those are usually your they're ones like that have like heavier loads and stuff like that, and that's for extra
Mm-hmm.
traction whenever they go up hills and steep inclines.
Okay.
Because of the load, so it gives it a bit more drive power, but it doesn't make it faster because you're already going up an incline because just the weight of your what you're carrying, it just makes you go really slow. But it's to get extra traction,
Yeah.
extra drive traction, I should say. But that's really all it is really used for. We also have snow chains. It's standard, but most states actually don't even let you use snow chains anymore because it tears up the road, and then they have to repair the road. So, if it's
Yeah.
the argument is if it's bad enough for you to pull out your snow chains, yeah, it's bad. You need to pull over and find a safe haven like a truck stop and wait it out because if it's that bad, you don't want to drive on it anyway, even with the snow
Yeah.
chain. It and yeah, like I said, a lot of states you're forbidden to use them because it tears up the road and they have to pay for it. You know what I mean? So yeah,
Yeah. I always
it
wondered about that because
yep.
we got a lot of truckers that go right in front of our house every day, back and forth, hauling wood chips and whatnot.
hmm Yeah. So we were probably talking about like your regional and your local
Yeah.
um, truck drivers. So yeah, there's like national, and we are the ones that go state to state and like drive all over the place. But what we do is most of our drops are what they call drop and hooks, meaning we drop our load at a distribution center, and then we pick up another trailer. We don't even go in our trailer to unload it. So another truck does that. That's a local truck. They'll take our trailer and then they'll deliver it to the local businesses. So one
Nice.
advantage about being national is 9 times out of 10, or if not 10 times out of 10, you'll never have to unload your own trailer. You just drop it or dock it. Somebody else does it. You'll never have to worry about touching it. So that's the one advantage. The only thing is, like I said, being national, you're getting put all over the place. So
I read a novel one time. It was one of those women detective novels, and one of them happened to be a trucker, and she was hauling Christmas trees. And one of the guys who was loading the Christmas trees up basically was going to take a few off to make some money on the side.
Right.
And it's like she brought out her shotgun in a heartbeat. She's like, "Yeah, you want to put those trees back?" Because
so
I'm hauling this amount of trees, and if I show up with even one less, I don't get paid. And it's like,
actually,
what?
that's very true. That's true. That's actually a true statement. Now that being said, most of our, at least for the national or loads, most of them are what we call shipper loaded and counted, meaning whoever shipped them already wrapped them up, packed them up, already counted them. So we put on there shipper loaded and counted, meaning if it's wrong, it's the shipper's fault. We don't, because what happens is once they put the loads in our trailer, they put a seal on it, on the trailer. You can't break that seal unless there's a die-hard emergency or something like that. The place that's receiving it will break the seal. So when it comes to that, a lot of our loads are shipper loaded and counted, meaning, we didn't count it. It was the people that we picked it up from, and then we took it to the people that received it. If the people that received it said, "Hey, this is wrong stuff," we direct them back to the shipper saying, "Hey, we had nothing to do with it." They loaded our trailer and then they sealed our trailer. So, it's but it does happen. Now that, like I said, that's for the national. Now, if you're doing like a regional or local where you're the one unloading, you have to be very careful about what is in there. And if something is wrong if you think something is wrong as far as what the shipper is giving you, you don't leave that dock until you make sure it's right. Because once you leave that dock, that load is your responsibility. It's no longer theirs. So, one of the big things is, especially if you do local or regional, where you're the one unloading to individual businesses. When you're at that dock, I don't care if they try to push you out the door. You wait and you make sure you verify everything is there or everything is right. Because once you leave, that's on you then, if it's wrong.
This is some pretty good stuff that we're learning, folks.
Yeah, well,
I mean,
it's it's like I said, it's a rewarding job. You can make good money doing it, but you gotta be careful.
It's not without its challenges.
And trust me, these mistakes that you can make are career ending / you go to jail ending. So, again, take it for what it is. My argument is, hey, I signed up for it. I know the consequences. I know what I'm getting myself into, and I accept that responsibility. If you don't think you can, don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Find something else.
If it's daunting, chances are you're not ready for it.
So, I actually very much enjoy this job, very much so. And it's actually one of the few jobs that I found I enjoy that I had for in like years. I'll be honest with you, in years. Every other
Nice.
job I've had, I've been miserable at. This one, I actually enjoy.
Well, that means you found what you were meant to do.
Yeah. What I
Just
loved
don't
about
screw
it,
it up.
well, yeah, yeah, don't screw it up. But one of the things that's very rewarding about it is you get to go across the country. I mean, that was my dream when I was right after high school. Before I decided to join the military, I was going to save up money for a year and literally get in my car with a duffel bag of clothes and just go across the country for like a month. Just
Nice.
seeing all what the country had. And here, lo and behold, here I'm doing it. I'm getting paid for it. So, you know, it's just I love it.
Awesome, awesome, man.
Yeah. I know a lot of people are say about say that like they want to visit other countries. And that's great. I would love to visit other countries too, but I think some people forget how beautiful just in the United States it is. Like from the different areas, from you got like like I said, the Colorado mountains. You got Sierra Nevada mountains. You have the White Sands of Nevada. You have Salt Lake City. You have so many places, and just in the U.S., Texas has like four. Geez, Texas has like 4 or 5 different geographical regions to it. So like in just one state, and I got to visit California and seeing the sunny California. It's like, dude, there's so many beautiful places just in the U.S. you could go. It's just amazing.
Wow. Yeah, that is one of the things that a lot of people don't realize is that our country is beautiful,
Yeah.
and and even though it has its fair share of tornadoes and hurricanes and
Yep.
snowy weather and shit,
Mhm.
take in the scenes as much as you can see, because honestly, if you're unable to go out and about to other countries, which right now you don't really want to, and it's kind of impossible to do so anyway, just
Right.
see what you could see right here at home.
Oh yeah. Like up in Wyoming and Wyoming, Colorado, New Mexico, Texas, Utah, and Idaho, and places like that. Um, they actually shot. That's where you used to, the old westerns and stuff like that. They would go to different locations out west there, and like I could, some of them like look like you could probably shoot a western even now in some of these locations because up in Wyoming, the population is a bit more sparse. So like there's like whole regions that like there's nothing but like land, mountains, and stuff like that, and just beautiful to behold. Um, and it's like yeah, I just thought it was so neat, seeing all this stuff. And I always from I urge people, hey, if you don't have the means, the funds, or whatever to visit other countries, I mean, trust me, there's plenty of like amazing sites here. So,
Yeah.
but
Now, one other question. Do they allow you guys to carry just in case somebody does try to get frisky with your loads?
okay, glad you asked that because I was going to bring that up. Okay, here's the thing. There's no real way you can carry a firearm. There is, you can, but here's the problem. You can have a right to carry, say in Pennsylvania, that's where I'm from. I could have a right to carry, like
Hmm.
concealed carry, but that wouldn't apply to Maryland. That wouldn't apply to Wyoming. That wouldn't apply to Texas. So, meaning my
They
right to
gotta
carry,
allow that.
state, it's null and void. So here's the other thing: certain cities do not allow firearms at all. So you get caught, you will be arrested. Um, it's been a very debated thing in the trucking community for the last like 25 years, and it's one of those things that many believe needs to have like a federal regulation where you can that would trump state or even city.
Yeah.
But as it stands right now, no, there's no way you could unless you stay in the same state that you are in. Like, say, I'm a trucker in Pennsylvania, I have a right to carry, then fine, because I'm staying in my state. But for people that have on the national or even regional, where you go to different states, no way. There's no way you can, because it's just because right to carries are also like you can't even try to get a right to carry in a different state because you're not a resident there. So it's it's a lot. That being said, there's a lot of truckers that do carry. I'll put it to you that way. So
Well,
it's one.
my advice is get either an aluminum or a wooden baseball bat.
Oh yeah. They even sell those at the truck stops. Yeah, actually.
Nice.
Yeah, they have those at the truck stops, billy clubs and stuff like that. Yeah. Well, not
Holy
billy clubs.
crap.
Something similar to it. I'll put it that way. They're not technically billy clubs, but they're very similar. What
truck stops are you talking about?
But no, here's the funny thing. They are advertised as things to check your tires to make sure your tires are well inflated. You smack it on your tires to make sure your tires are still. That's how they're advertised, quote unquote. They also sell canes there, like heavy duty canes. Again, advertised as an actual cane. But if you ever felt how heavy some of those are, they're practically a club.
Yeah.
They're very smart about it. I'll put it that way. A lot of these truck stops are very smart about it. The intended use, I should say.
Yeah. I mean, it looks like it's meant for this, but what it's really meant for.
Yeah. Well, there's a reason why. Also, like we have a toolbox with hammers and stuff. Yeah. We're not maintenance guys. We don't maintenance our own trucks, but we still have them. So just putting that out there. But that's actually been a very debated issue that is still raging to this day. It's been like that for the last 20 or so years at least, if not more. So it's probably not going to change, but many truck drivers, including myself, think it should. But the logistics of it, it's not probably plausible, because there's going to be a lot of states or even cities that are going to fight that to the bitter end, like New York City, Los Angeles. They'll fight that to the bitter end.
Nice.
Yeah. But anyway, I'm going to head out here, and it was great talking to you again, Orange Hat. I missed our
pleasure, buddy.
Yeah, I missed our conversations, and sorry I don't always get to watch you guys' videos because, again, I'm on the road. I can't be on my phone while I'm driving, so
Hey, it's all right, man. You have a very essential and important job.
Yeah. But anyway, thanks again for being on my channel, and to the audience out there, and for the people that are going to watch this video afterwards, thank you for stopping by. I really appreciate it. Again, I like doing this for fun. I don't really do this for subscribers. I just like having conversations with people. It's, especially in this time with Corona, where you can't even see people face to face anymore. So, yeah. But anyway, you have a good night, and
you too.
To the audience, have a good night, and I will see. Well, probably not see, but I will hear from everyone a bit later. So everyone take care. Orange Hat, take care, and
you too.
I'll be in touch.
All right, take it easy.
All right.
I wonder how long it's going to take him to realize that he left his own live stream.